Okay, hello and welcome. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Continue playing Dark Souls and maybe even finish it. Hello, welcome. So yeah, we ended up last time on the last boss fight in the game, Gwyn. But I wasn't able to defeat him in time, so let's see whether we can do so this time. I've done a few things in the meantime. Not as much as I suggested as I thought that I might. I didn't go back through Sense Fortress to defeat the Titanite demons there. Mostly because I don't have any equipment which I could upgrade with the demon Titanite which they drop, so I don't see any point. Most of what I did was upgrading the Uchikatana here to plus 14. I didn't do plus 15. That requires a Titanite slab, and I don't have one. There is a way which I could get one fairly easily. Two, actually. One is behind a waterfall, where we fought Calamite. And the other one is from the lost demon at the asylum, which I remembered I didn't actually go and fight. I fought and then I died. So I kind of forgot about it. I guess that's a boss which I haven't done. I guess I could go back and fight it. My idea with the Uchikatana was because it's got bleed, it might be useful against Gwyn. But looking at stats on him, he's apparently immune to bleed. So that won't help. Also, oddly enough, I think Quaylag's Fury Sword is going to be the best option. Because contrary to what I would have expected, considering, you know, he's a Lord of Cinder and he's got fire all around him and all that, he's actually got out of all of his resistances, fire is his lowest, lightning is his highest, and apparently over 1,000, whereas fire is around 200. So that's odd, but hey, I guess I can keep using Quaylag's Fury Sword then. At least that demon should be pretty easy. Yeah, I guess we can go and fight the asylum demon. I've got more hit points than I had last time, so it should be quite a bit easier. What else? I did try to grind Titanite slabs a little in New Londo, but it's apparently a very, very low chance for them to drop it, and I couldn't really be bothered. I did a little bit, nothing dropped. It's from the, what are they called? You know, the spooky guys with the skull masks. Dark Walkers or whatever. So, I'm not fussed over that. The make or break difference is not going to be it gaining 1+1 bonus on the sword. And as I said, I don't think I'm going to be using it in the end anyway. I guess we could try it on the Titanite Demon. Not the Titanite Demon, on the Asylum Demon here. I'm guessing that's not also immune to bleeding. There is the downside that the sword has quite low durability, but it shouldn't break that quickly. Oh, I also looked at upgrading my equipment. I didn't actually upgrade my gloves. Maybe I could do that. Because they're +9. I need a slab for that. Okay, never mind. We're not going to do that. I think I fully upgraded the gargoyle helm, which can only be to +5, and I don't think I can upgrade the gold hemmed robes. So we're not going to be doing that. me just kindle this bonfire a bunch. Hello, welcome. Just in case I end up dying to it. I also didn't grind for more humanity. Oh well. I have a bunch of souls. I was using some of the items to pay for the upgrades I was doing. I guess I could also use some in, what's it called? Leveling up. I'll put a point into dexterity. Increase my damage a little bit more. Okay, so... this fight to pain, you just drop in on top of him. Maybe I can stab him. Nope. I can't block his hammer, his attack though. Oh, he does the blast as well. There we go, he's bleeding, I think. No? Whatever. Don't get too cocky. Hello, welcome. I thought bleed was an overtime thing. Oh well. That blast is... pain, jeez. Get out of here. Bleed just takes off a chunk of health when it fills up. It doesn't dot. Oh, okay. Thank you. And there's a Titanite slab. Okay. Oh, it's just over there. Huh. Well, now we truly have done all the bosses. And I guess I can upgrade this sword. Or maybe I should upgrade my gloves. You know what? I can do both. There's no reason why I shouldn't do both. Because I know where two pieces of, two Titanite slabs are easily. That's one of them. Yes, I did look this up. I'm not gonna hunt around the levels for things. What else? I handed off some of the sparks which we had to blacksmiths. Oh, and I found the other blacksmith which we didn't find. I had to look up where he was. I guess I could go show him off. I haven't made use of his services. He only makes magical weapons, I believe. But, yeah. So I believe, aside from possibly getting one from those bugs, there should be one behind one of these water pools, apparently. Yeah, over there I see a chest. There we go. Oh yeah, there's also something else I read. We've got this thing here, the dark side, which I didn't realize is actually an item you can use. This is like something intrinsic to the character. It's like what makes you come back at a bonfire when you die. But you can use it, and it teleports you to the last bonfire you rested at. But at the cost of all of your humanity and souls. I read it could be useful if, like, you died and left a bloodstain somewhere, and you were in danger of dying again. You could use the dark sign to teleport out there because you wouldn't have anything, and it wouldn't get rid of your original bloodstain.
Well, hello
But
again.
other than that,
You seem to be doing
homeward
all right.
bones are more useful.
Need anything forged?
Yeah, reinforce my sword, please. Actually, I gotta, just to make sure that I do things properly, I gotta reinforce my gloves first. Thank you. Okay, now upgrade the Uchi Katana. There we go, plus 50. Can you upgrade my gauntlets further? What do I need for that? Oh, maybe they only go up to plus 10. Yeah, it looks so. Okay.
Don't get yourself killed.
I could use all of the other souls I have to level up a bunch. I don't have a use for them anymore, really, other than getting them. Let me just show you where that other blacksmith is. Because I'm sitting on quite a few souls in my inventory. These ones I think give like 5,000 each. Okay, so it's really close by here. Go down here. And here he is.
Ah, hello. Hello. I was beginning to wonder when you'd come.
Hey, I haven't been that far.
Have you materials? Well, go on. Show me.
Yeah. So this guy will upgrade your equipment to magical weapons. But, you know. He also sells these. Soul Arrow, Heavy Soul Arrow, and the Sorcerer's Catalyst.
Come back soon.
See ya.
Smithing helps soothe my nerves.
He apparently is perfectly fine with being in that cell. He's like, well, I'd rather be in here than risk going hollow out there. But I do get a bit bored, so I'm glad you come around to talk to me. I don't know how he has all the equipment for smithing in that cell, but maybe he's just that good. I like, in the first, 16 minutes we've been going currently. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot a boss. Let me just go deal with that quickly. We've already gone and done it. I think I'm going to use all these souls. I've still got the boss souls also. Many of the weapons the boss souls give me are not really ones which I'm looking to use with how I've built this character. Most of them give like great swords. Which is... No, I'm not using great swords, so... So I think I'll just hold on to these. Let me see. Moonlight Butterfly. I think that makes like a spear which deals magical damage. The Iron Golem. Oh, I forget. It's not a fist weapon, I think. Smog is his hammer. Sif is... two things. If you use it on an upgraded greatsword, it becomes the cursed greatsword of Artorias. But if you use it on an upgraded broken sword, or broken short sword, it becomes the greatsword of Artorias. Solar Gwendolyn gives you a catalyst, which I think requires intelligence to use still, but scales spells off of your faith. Priscilla gives you the, that's off a polearm and upgraded polearm, and it gives you a lifesteal scythe. Sanctuary Guardian, I don't know. Manus' Soul, I think it gives you a hammer. So, okay. They finally made it so you can pop a whole sack at once in remastered. Oh, that would be nice. I still got a Firekeeper Soul. Oh, right, because I killed that one. I guess I could use that to upgrade my Estus Flask. This reminds me, I need to play, Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver sometime. And the sequel. I've never played those. I remember having the demo back in the day of Soul Reaver, the first one, I think, but I can never get it working. Very finicky game, what I remember. Souls. Also, let me go upgrade my Estus Flask again. Hey, this firekeeper died because
Frank
of...
has told me of you.
Oh, good stuff, I
That
hope.
you have agreed to link the fire. I thank you sincerely. Finally, the curse of the undead will be lifted. And I can die human. I am powerless, but I will do all that I can. Please, save us all. Please.
Reinforced by Estes philosophies. Thank you. Okay, plus 4 Estes philosophies. I can upgrade 5 times. Oh, interesting. Past 40, it's not increasing my damage on my Uchigatana anymore. I guess that's like the soft cap. So start increasing it every second level. How many hit points would I get if I put that on into Vitality? A bit more than 100. What about Endurance? 15. Increases my equipment load by about 10. That's probably right. Rolling is alright for me at the moment, though if I had more endurance, that would mean that I could possibly take off Havel's ring and put something else on. Let me just put it on into dexterity. Except for 1 point, which I'll put into this. I don't know. Endurance, I guess. A little bit extra. Okay. Let me see. No, the Uchigatana didn't even get damaged from all that use. That's alright. Okay. I think that's everything. Okay, let's go try defeating the boss again. Oh, you're awake still.
I am pleased to see you well. Is it something urgent?
Walk me,
Very
please.
well. Then stay still for a moment.
Okay, we'll see this. Thank you. What else? I don't know how much time I'll get after the boss to, like, sit around and explain things, but after we defeat the boss, there's going to be a choice to make. As the firekeeper there said, we can reignite the flame, taking Lord Gwyn's place, or, and this would have been explained by Primordial Serpent Keith, you can decide not to. Now, let me just get into the story for the setting a bit to make that a bit clearer. Lord Gwyn and the others, they took the flames and started the Age of Fire, as we saw in the intro cinematic. However, after a while, the flames started dying. The Witch Queen of Izalith or the Witch of Isolus tried to recreate a new First Flame, but that ended up becoming the Better Chaos, and that didn't work. Lord Gwyn, however, fed himself to the First Flame to keep it going, and extended the Age of Fire for 1,000 years, I think, or around that. Because Fram says, you know, after 1,000 years. Though, if you talk to Keith, he sort of describes it as being an unnatural extension of the age when it should have gone out. And so he says, you can let the fire die, and you can usher in the Age of Dark and the Age of Humanity. I'm not too clear about some of the specifics here, but part of it is that Lord Gwyn, the other one who got one of the flames at the beginning was the furtive pygmy, which is, I think it's like the progenitor of the humans. And it got the Dark Soul, which I don't understand the specifics of it. The Dark Soul was inside of us all the whole time. And it's kind of... again, I don't understand it specifically. Something about Gwyn not liking humanity because of the whole Dark Soul thing, and I think he curses them with the Dark Sign, which makes it come back as undead. But it's sort of like humanity is sort of underneath Lord Gwyn and the ones of his type of being. Whereas I guess by not continuing the Age of Fire and bringing about the Age of Dark, you might have a age to help to have humanity be the premier force. But I think while you'd say Dark is not necessarily evil, it's clear that both of the primordial serpents are not telling you the whole story. So, and of course going by FromSoftware's other games, there's not going to be a good ending. I'm actually interested in doing the Age of Dark ending, because the canonical ending is that the Age of Fire is extended, from what I understand. So I'd like to do the non-canon ending to see how the game shows it off. Though I don't think it really explains what happens. But I mean, we saw a whole bunch of like humanity in the Abyss and Manus, the father of the Abyss, and all that. I don't know how that ties there. Apparently Manus is like a primordial human or something. I don't know. It's complicated. And I'm not reading the wiki right now. I can't remember all the specific details. But your understanding, Blade Skull says, the main thing Gwyn feared humans for was because of the Dark Soul. The Dark Sign was a binding given to humans to limit them while the flame still lives. And the Dark Soul doesn't wane in power no matter how many times it gets split. Right. Yeah, because, like, Gwyn shared his flame amongst others. We see, I think Seath had some bequeathed soul, and the four kings of New Londo. But then, yeah, right, humanity has got each a part of the Dark Soul in. Interesting concepts. It's difficult for me to understand. Because I'm not very good at putting together vague things myself. The basic gist of it is, I probably will go for the non-canon ending of it, because I'm curious to see how the, what the game shows for that, because I haven't watched ending cutscenes of this. And I kind of agree that the unnatural prolonging of something is, you know, well, it's going to happen eventually. Whether it would be better for people, I don't know. Kind of going into the unknown. So I believe Dark Souls 3 shows a fair bit of what's happened. But that's getting into a game which I haven't played. So I haven't tried not to read too much about it. Using my Fury Sword against these guys isn't going to be too useful. Because they're rather resistant to fire. I do think it's important to keep in mind for these games, at least from my understanding, like in Kingsfield 1, 2, and 3, light and dark doesn't necessarily mean good and evil, which is easy to fall into as someone from, you know, Western cultures where light and dark tend to be pretty black and white, good and evil. It doesn't have the whole sort of yin-yang aspect of it, where they're both needed to balance the other one out. And we saw the unbalance of that kind of thing in Kingsfield, where you defeat Gyra, but then Seats becomes just as bad. So, some settings explore the aspect of, like, you know, rampant good becoming an oppressive order faction, all about justice and fervor. But, it's not as common, I'd say. Anyway, all this philosophical musings aside, we've got a boss to fight. Beat, yeah, right, fight. Let's see how quickly I die. Tried to get a, what's it called on him? Ow. Well, that didn't work. Done a bit of damage to him. I was trying to get a parry off on him. I haven't gotten it timed perfectly. I should practice my parrying against these guys. I don't know if I can parry someone with a two-handed sword. Also, it's impressive being able to stab with a katana. They're not really made for that. I think that would just break the blade. Yeah, well, whatever. Considering the heavy attack is a stab, maybe so. Come on, you. I don't need the transient curses, so I'll take them off. And I don't need those. All that. That would just stop me from accidentally going onto objects which aren't useful when I fumble keys. Frickin' ow. There we go. Like, I don't know, call me crazy, but the fact that he's got a giant flaming sword doesn't make me think that he would be most vulnerable to fire. What? Oh. Nice flip attack. Oh, we're doing great against him. Ow. Come on, try and grab me again. I like that move. Leaves you wide open. It's like, sit still, damn it. Whoop. Oh. Please, sir. You're gonna kill me with chip damage. Okay, thank you. You were so kind there. It's like, I know you're looking thirsty. Maybe his vulnerability to fire could be extrapolated as him already being rather burnt up. He doesn't have as many retaliatory attacks as, like, Artorias has. Oh! Damn it! I ran out of space to dodge it. Ow! No, no, don't get. Come on. What a finishing! What was it you said last time, Blade Skull? You took an ages and then you went to bed and you fought it next time and you got it. First try. Ah, oh, damn it! I didn't realize that was going to be the ending. Ah, well, whatever. Sure, we can do this ending. I just saw bonfire and I was like, oh, okay, I'll rest. I've already explained what happened, so it's not a big deal. There we go. I like that they had to redo that ending panel there to include the Prepare to Die edition bit. I thought, like, if there was going to be... I thought if there was going to be, like, something which I have to link to, I was expecting something bigger than just the bonfires which we've seen everywhere else in the game. That's why I used it. So... oh well. Sorry, I wanted to do the other one, but New Game Plus time. I think it's the canonical ending anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, I was wanting to do the non-canon ending, but this is fine. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. You can see all the voice actors. And how the credits are jittering slightly. It's a video. Why is it jittering? It's very unassuming. Yeah, I was expecting like a basin or something, or like some kind of big pyre. Yeah. The downside to that ending, of course, is that we sacrifice ourselves. So, as Lord Gwyn was burned away over 1,000 years to act as fuel for the fire, the same is going to be for us. But I guess a selfless act to continue on the Age of Fire, even though maybe should it be extended? Who knows? I'm surprised how quickly that was. Using the fire sword really helped a lot. I didn't even break an hour for this. Oh well. Same reason Vamos has Xbox Live quality voice acting. That's why it jitter. Because it's a port or something. It's odd that it's a video, considering, like, you'd think they could do scrolling something like that in the game's engine rather than video. Ah, well, whatever. You do get Lord Gwyn's soul there, and you can make his sword. The big sword, but I don't think it's on fire like his, so. It's not as cool as his. Okay, very good. Oh, it just jumps straight into New Game Plus, does it?
Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead.
You also get his fancy lightning spell.
And in this land,
oh, the
undead are corralled and led to the
lightning
north.
spear attack he uses in the intro cinematic. Okay. He wasn't using any magic during the fight. I guess it just kind of goes to show how little there is of him left.
Await the end of the world.
Hey, there we are, with all of our equipment.
Is your fate.
I see I'm hollowed again. I feel like I've been in this place before. Yeah, I think we've got a whole bunch of our inventory still. Let's see. Yeah, there's his soul. We've still got all of the other souls. I didn't expect that. I thought the game would remove them from us if we didn't use them. Lord Gwyn bequeathed most of his power to the gods and burned as cinder for the first flame. But even so, Lord Gwyn's soul is a powerful thing indeed. I think it does remove some things, but I mean, we keep the +4 Estus flasks. We have as many as we ended on with. Oh, we also keep all of our chunks and all. Huh. We lost all the key items, of course. All the spells still. All my weapons and armor, looks like, and all the arrows. And all the rings. All the rings I got for the Covenants, too. Huh. That's interesting. I would have thought it removed more of them from us. I want to say you have everything I had that wasn't a plot item. You keep everything but key items. That's surprising to me. Neat. But we're not going to be playing through the entire game again. As fun as it was. I also keep my humanity. Huh. New Game Plus has more powerful versions of the rings. Oh, okay. Huh. There's another interesting thing. We start with the master key again, so you don't get to re-roll the starting art item. Okay. So it would have been beneficial to get the witch's ring by exchanging the sunlight maggot helmet before I ended, because then it would carry over, I assume. Okay. Oh, yeah, and I knew this. The bonfires stay kindled. Okay. Well then. That was Dark Souls. Enjoyable game. I'm glad to have finally finished it after... Let me see. I got it back in like 2011 or whatever. Stopped playing it in 2012 or sometime around then. Still has some of the issues which I had with it back then. The camera controls are pretty awful. This is probably fixed in a remastered version, but I, being cheapskate, only wanted to play this version because I didn't want to have to pay for it again. On to 2 today, I presume. Well, I do have 2. We probably won't start with it today. What did I think of the game as a whole? Let me see. Very enjoyable. The hurdle which I came across, Ornstein and Smorg, is definitely the hardest point in the game. I'm kind of surprised that a lot of the bosses after them weren't really as much of a problem. I think out of the bosses after them, including the DLC, Artorias was probably the hardest after them, because his fight is very always on top of you, and you have to be able to block or dodge his attacks to be able to make any headway. He really gives you very little breathing space. And then he powers up as well, so you have to be proactive at the right moments too. Calamite was difficult, but I wouldn't say as hard as Artorias was. Manus wasn't really difficult. I did have Sif to help me with that. So occasionally Sif would take aggro and I would have time to heal up. That would have helped there. Manus was quite always on top of you as well. I didn't really learn that fight terribly well. Aside from just block all attacks and then roll when he does the blast attacks. The other bosses, Sif the Scaleless, the curse is a big problem. Other than that, like when I got to him, I felt kind of that it was a bit too powerful for the fight. The last 4 bosses, 4 kings, Seath, Nido, and Bed of Chaos. Well, Bed of Chaos doesn't really count. It felt like they were all balanced to be taken, to be fought all at, like, the first, if you wished. Which is good for, like, variation of path, but then when you end up with, like, the second last one or the last one, you're kind of leveled beyond them if you've been, increasing your character's stats. So they just sort of get weaker along. They don't seem to scale with you. The Bell Gargoyles was also another difficult fight. The Iron Golem would have been as well. I remember dying a fair few times on that, but that's also just roll through the legs frequently. Don't fall off the platform. I don't think I did that in this playthrough, but I certainly did originally. Just keep on the little raised section in the middle of that tower you fight him on. You certainly feel, after Ornstein and Smorg, I assume the development pressure was on top of them, and so a lot of the areas after that, they were still neat, but they lacked the same degree of, like, polish and detail. I think the Catacombs and the Tomb of the Giants was actually pretty good overall. I don't really have any huge problems with that. The Crystal Cave and the little garden area outside of the Duke's Archives, that's where things really started to look quite bare to me. The Bed of Chaos and Lost Izalith, there was holes in the geometry towards the big building down there. The whole area looked neat. The lake of lava and all of the bounding demons, yeah, that would have been nice to have redone. Or, it would have been nice if they were able to have more time to work on that. That was kind of tedious. And it's quite a bit better now than it was at release. I was reading patch notes and they had a much wider aggro range. They respawned when you died. So on release, I remember specifically that people were saying, these things are a huge pain, and considering those two things, I can see why. They were a pain with these changes that they didn't respawn. And the aggro range was quite a bit smaller. And then the enemy variety down there. There's a lot of those little fire demon statues. There's not much variety. There's some of those Chaos Eaters, which they're a neat enemy. They're really cool. Most of them are in an area which you go to only if you enter a covenant with the Fair Lady, or you go backwards through that place, or down into that area where Sigmire wanted to fight. But yeah, second half of the game did feel quite empty. Well, not empty, but, rushed in a bunch of places. Boss fights themselves, I guess I didn't really have much of an issue with. Even the Bed of Chaos, the falling into pits was a pain. And I wasn't really dodging the swipes the roots did. It would have been much more of a pain if it didn't retain the fact that when you defeat one of the orbs, they stay defeated when you die. If that didn't happen, yeah, that fight would have been a lot more of a pain. I can see what they're trying to do. It would have needed more tweaking to make it better, but it's an interesting idea. I think it's actually a very similar boss fight to one from Demon Souls, from some comments I've seen. but I haven't played that, so I don't know. I think there's quite a few similar things between Dark Souls and Demon Souls. The lore of the characters, it's all neat. I like it. Exploring the world, it's great. I love all the shortcuts going back to the original areas. That's very Kingsfield. And I like that in Kingsfield 1 and 2. And 3 to a degree. And 4. Just how interconnected it is. I understand Dark Souls 2 is a lot less like that. It's very hub-based. And then you have long, winding routes going off from that, and then you have to go back through the areas to get back to the beginning. Which, yeah, sure. Dark Souls 3 I'm not too sure on. It helps a lot playing this that there is a wiki where people have analyzed and understood a lot of the mechanics in the game, and I can look stuff up when I don't know. I think one of the issues on release was I was having to figure out a lot of the stuff on my own, or on comments by people who weren't sure about exactly how things were working. And, you know, there would have been misconceptions about how things worked. I remember trying to get a lot more humanity at the time, because I think it was considered that it increased your damage or something, or it was a lot more vital to have humanity than it is. So you end up using it, and then you lose it, and then you're looking around for more, and you don't really come across more, and I think that was something which I felt like, you know, oh, I'm dying too much, I don't have any humanity, I really aren't making the progress which the developers are expecting me to make in the game. Or, you know, I'm like dying too much, and it's throwing things out of whack, but it's not really, that's not really the case. So better proactive spending of the souls also helps when you're upgrading your character and improving your items and equipment, you know, your weapons and armor. Which I don't remember whether I did that much. That's also something which is quite difficult to learn. I'm still kind of confused about it. It's simple enough when I look at a chart, but like explaining it, like you use one type of Titanite up until like +4, and then to get +5 you need to use a specific one, and then you use like the previous one to go up to +10, and then you use a different one to get, or to +9, then use another one to get to +10, and you have to have the embers from different locations in the game, so how far you can upgrade things is dependent on where you are in the game. And then there's the different Titanite chunks used for the different elemental types, and then there's also how like upgrading a weapon to like dealing lightning damage. It gives it lightning damage, but it also removes, I think, the scaling it gets from like strength and dexterity, or it reduces it by a lot. So, you know, it might not be the best option to do. I was thinking at the beginning that I might go around with a whole bunch of different weapons which are spec'd into different elemental types, but that wasn't really needed. Just basic physical damage is good enough for the most part. Dying isn't really an obstacle, it's just part of the process. Yeah, I think on the release it was easy to feel like dying is like, you know, well, the game's so difficult, you're going to be dying all the time, and it's a lot more of a punishment than it actually is. It also helps that, you know, I spent a few hours farming humanity from the giant rats in the depths. Can't remember whether I did that back in the day. It feels vaguely familiar, but I can't be sure. Yeah, anything else I want to say about it? Not really. All the little extra paths as well, and like just interactions here and there which you could do. That's neat. Again, having the wiki there helped. So I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything too bad, or, you know, I could read up about stuff and be like, you know, do I care about that? I didn't do a lot of the NPC side stories because of that reason. Some of them are a bit finicky. So, yeah. But I did fight all the bosses, I believe. So that's something. Yeah, anyway. I think that's about enough of me yakking about the game. Enjoyable game. I'm glad to have finally finished it. Well, thank you very much for joining, and I hope you join me again next time for, I don't know, whenever we pick up Dark Souls 2 at some point.